Hey everybody, Miss Ashley here, and I am going to do a soup video for you, and it was inspired by my latest story time called Every Color Soup. So I thought it would be a good supper option, and I had some leftover chicken, and I thought, well, you know what, it's cold out, let's make a soup. So the ingredients that I'm adding to my soup are just a different, menagerie of vegetables that I had in the fridge. And I am using some celery, complete with the celery leaves, which are good to add in. I have chopped up 1 onion. I have chopped up 1 really large carrot. I had 2 tomatoes I needed to use up, so they are going in the soup too. And I had a little plastic container of frozen peas in the freezer, so we're gonna throw those guys in as well. I'm also gonna be adding some chicken to give it some nice flavor, and at the end I like either a rice or a pasta in my soup, so I will wait and see which one I want to add for a little bit of extra oomph and coziness. So the first thing you're going to want to do after you have chopped up all your vegetables, maybe you get a parent to help you with the chopping. You don't want to hurt yourself. It can be quite sharp, those knives. You're going to need to get a nice heavy bottom soup pan like I've got here. You're just going to turn your oven on. I have a gas, so I'm just going to turn it on and get to the right heat. Just don't burn yourself. I want this to get a little bit warm. And then I'm going to pour a bit of olive oil in it. I like to fry up my vegetables in olive oil. I think it adds a nice bit of flavor to it. So I'm going to add that to my pot. Just a little bit. There we go. It's roughly about a tablespoon, or just a big glug. There we go. So we're going to let this get warm, and then I'm going to put a little bit of salt in it. There we go. And pepper. A little bit of pepper. We're just going to let that get warm, and then we're going to need to add our vegetables. So I like to start with the onions first. I like them to kind of simmer and cook down to get that nice oniony flavor. So when this gets a little bit warm, maybe about 30 seconds or so, we're gonna add our onions in. So let me get my little spoon here, and then we're going to take our onions and we're gonna put them in. There we go. You wanna hear, oops. You really want to hear that sizzle. The sizzle means good things are to come. At least that's what I think a sizzle means. So we're going to put that in. And I'm going to leave these here for about 6 minutes or so, just to kind of let them break down, get nice and goopy, nice and oniony. So I will come back and show you what step 2 is. You wait there. Okay guys, so my onions have been simmering nicely. They are beginning to get nice and soft and nice and oniony. So next I'm going to throw in the carrots. And I'm also going to add the celery, because they take a while to get nice and soft. So now that you have them all together here, you're just going to kind of stir them. Keep your eye on it. You don't want this to burn. You want to get it nice and soft. I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil to it, just to add, because I added carrots and celery, so a bit more olive oil in there. And then just give it a stir. So I'm going to leave this for about 5 minutes, just to kind of give the celery a chance to soften. And then I'm going to add the tomatoes. I'm going to let that simmer down. The peas are actually the last thing that I add, because the peas are going to get really mushy if I have them in a broth for too long. So they're the last thing that goes in. So I'm just going to let this kind of soften, and then I'm gonna add my tomatoes. And then I will show you what to do next. This is a bit of a choppy process to kind of get everything in order. So I will be right back. Okay guys, so I've added in my tomatoes. I've already let everything stew down. And it looks a little stewy. So now I'm going to add in some chicken broth. So I made this last night, but you can use just chicken broth from a box. This is probably about 5 cups of broth. I'm just gonna pour this in. There we go. And give it a stir. There we go. And then I have my cut up pieces of chicken. That was last night's leftovers. So I'm going to add this to my soup broth. I think I have an admirer here. Miss Lucky really wanted to get some chicken, but she already had a few bites. You've already had a few bites. Okay, so this now is just going to have to sit for a bit to let it absorb, get the flavor. This will have to simmer for about, maybe 20 minutes or so, and after that, I'm going to add in my peas, because I said these are the last things that I add because they can get really, really mushy. So this will simmer for about 20 minutes or so, and then I will add those guys in. So hang on tight. Okay guys, so my soup has been simmering now for about 35 minutes or so. And now it's time to add the peas and the pasta of your choice. I went for these really little small, like elbow pastas. They're nice in a soup because they're not too clumpy. So I'm just going to take my lid off and I'm going to add in the peas. And then I'm adding about half a cup of pasta. And what's nice is that the pasta will just cook in the soup, so it kind of gets that nice broth flavor and just tastes really nice. So this is a pretty good soup. I mean, a lot of vegetables went in it. So I'm gonna leave that lid on and let that cook for another about 10 minutes or so. That way the pasta isn't too toothy. And then it's ready to eat. So I will just let this go the last little stretch, and then I will plate up and I will show you the end result. So you wait there. Guys, this is the final product here. This is my version of the every color soup story that I have just read you. And look at my soup. That's lovely. It smells really, really good. I have just a little bit of parsley here just to add a little bit of visual interest and extra flavor. So like in every color soup, I went for orange for carrot, red for tomato, green for celery, clear for broth, and white for onion. I did not do the eggplant because I'm allergic to it, but I think this soup is really, really good. So I hope that maybe this book and this video will inspire you to make your own version of every color soup, or even just a soup in general, because it really is the weather for soup. Anyway guys, I'm going to eat my wonderful smelling supper, and until my next video, I hope that you are staying safe. I hope you're washing your hands, and I hope that you like and subscribe to the Miss Ashley YouTube Storytime channel for more great videos of endless possibilities. So until I see you again, take care and bye-bye.